Hello everyone, this is my first video on YouTube and today we are going to integrate Stripe payments into our Android app. So for this we will use Stripe SDK, which it will be like this. As you can see here, we will integrate full Stripe payments in our Android app, and I'll show you step by step from the very beginning how to integrate in our Android app. So let's first create our Android project, which will be an empty activity, and I'll just name it Stripe Payments. I'll be coding it in Java, but if you want to code it in Kotlin, you can do that too. Stripe provides documentation for both of the languages, so that won't be an issue. So till then we should create a new Firebase project because we will be using Firebase functions as our endpoint to communicate with Stripe SDK, Stripe APIs. So I'll just name it Stripe Payments and just click continue. I'll choose my default account. I'll just create the project. Okay, so one thing which we need to keep in our mind that we need to upgrade this project to a Blaze plan. Otherwise the Firebase functions won't work. Okay, so if you want to upgrade it to Blaze plan, you should first have a Cloud Console account. If you don't have one, just create a one, and they provide you with $300 of credits if you are new there. So that's basically a good thing. Okay, so one thing I'm gonna do is now upgrade the project to the Blaze plan. Select plan, and I'll just set a small limit here, 100, and I'll purchase this. Okay, so now I'm going to build. We'll have to create a functions folder. Go to my desktop and I'll create a new folder named as Stripe Payments Firebase. Okay, I'll open VS Code and I'll use my folder which I created on desktop. Okay, so what we're now gonna do is we'll have to install Firebase tools using npm install Firebase tools. And I'll just have to wait for it. It would take around 2 to 3 minutes. And I'll come back when it's done. Alright, so Firebase dependencies are installed. Now I'll use Firebase init function to initialize the project in this folder. I'll proceed here. If you're doing it for the first time, it will require you to sign in. I've already signed in to Firebase, so I'm not doing that again. And I'll just use functions here and press enter. I'll use an existing project which is Stripe Payments. I'll use JavaScript. Move. Yes. and these will basically add all the Firebase necessary files into this folder, and there would be an index.js file which would contain all of our Firebase functions. We can get multiple functions in just this single file, and it would deploy on the Firebase server. So let's just wait for it to build. Okay, so this thing is done now. Now I'll just go to this functions folder and just double click on the index.js file. As you can see, they have given us a sample code for function export to hello world, and hello world is the keyword for a function. This would create a function on Firebase server which will be named as hello world. I'll just remove these lines and uncomment all of this code. Okay, so one thing I would do this is make this function async, and I'll just remove this thing because we don't need this thing. Okay, so I'll just go to Stripe account. So first just need to make a Stripe account and just fill in your business details, or if an individual, they will just accept your application. Just make sure you enter all your details correctly, and I've entered all my details correctly, and I'll just use my dashboard in test mode because I won't be accepting live payments. So while I'm in test mode, I'll go to this developers option, and I'll just go through my API keys, which I'll be using my functions file to connect with Stripe API. Okay, so this is my publisher key and this is my secret key. I would be hiding this because it is not advisable to show test keys. So what we're gonna do is go to the stocks of Stripe, and we are just gonna go to this endpoint code, which is like this. Construct Stripe require this, and they have used a post function of JavaScript. We're already using this as function.html on request. So I will just be copying the code which is inside of this app.post. I'll copy this all over and I'll paste it here, and I'll just copy this thing too, which is my secret test key, and I'll paste it here. Okay, so before deploying the code, I will need to do one thing, which is install Stripe dependencies. But we wouldn't install Stripe dependencies on a functions folder because index.js would be accessing it within its functions folder, not its parent folder. So I would just go to just functions. Oops. So now I'm in my functions folder, so I will install npm install Stripe save. So it would install all the dependencies on a functions folder. Till then, we should make some changes on our code. So I would be accepting my payments in INR, Indian rupees, or if you want to accept in your dollars, you can use USD, but I would be using INR, Indian rupees, and the amount is already preset here, so I would need to enter custom amount whenever I'm using this function. So I would make a const amount equal to request dot query dot amount 20k. Yes. So we would request a parameter called amount and put it in the amount field, amount k. So we are done here, and our response is yes, and I think we are done here. So I will just go here, go to terminal, and I will just use Firebase deploy, and it would push a function into our Firebase console. Let's do the console. And we'll see our function here when it's deployed successfully. Let's see here. Okay, so our function is created successfully, and one thing I forgot was to rename this function to Stripe payment, but never mind. Our function is named now hello world. It will take time again if I deploy it again, but I'll leave it to hello world. So if we refresh our function page, we would see a function named hello world. Okay, so one thing you need to go is go to detail user stat, and you'll just have to go to the parent page of our function. Go to parent page, I'll go on to this and click on permission, and I have to add one principal, which is all users, and it would be cloud function invoker. Okay, so anyone with a functions link could invoke this function, but if you want to secure your function, then you can use this or authenticate users. Yeah, but I won't use this now as of now. Okay, so we have a link of a function here. I will just copy this and see if it's working or not. Go here, and amount would be like 100. Let's check if it's throwing a response. Yep, it's working. We're getting payment intent, ephemeral key, customer ID, and publishable key. Okay, so I'll go back and let's start doing our Android project. Okay, so it would just be a basic activity. I should set it to a button. Okay, and text would be with Stripe. Okay, and I will just add a text field. Add a hint, enter amount to pay, and I'll just constrain it with the button. Okay, so we'll use this text field to enter our amount, and we would pass this as a parameter to our endpoint, and I would name to id amount edit text. Id would be edit this id to Stripe button. Id means to Stripe button, and now you have to go to main activity, and I'll just go here, this implement button, Stripe button, and edit text. Amount edit text. Okay, so I have to import this class. I'll just simply click Alt plus Enter and import class. Now I will initialize these fields, and Stripe button would be equal to find Stripe button, and amount edit text would be find id dot amount edit text. Okay, now what we do have to do is add Stripe dependency. We just have to add Stripe dependencies on a project, and I'll just go here. Yep. Just implement this, and I'll just add one more dependency which Stripe recommended us, which would be this one, fuel library implementation. This, it's a library to get HTTP responses very easily. Okay, so I'll just wait for it to build. And it's done, and I'll just go simply back to my main activity, and I'll declare some other things. I'll be doing this in Java, and I would implement these three things. One is payment sheet, I'll just add one more string with the amount, which will retrieve from us amount edit text. Okay, so what we would do is our payment sheet will be new payment sheet. Context would be this. On payment sheet result. Okay, so I'll create a new function called void on payment sheet result, and I'll just pass on the parameter which is final payment sheet result payment sheet result. Okay, now we have done this. Now we'll use fuel library to get response from our function, and I'll just use it like this, fuel dot instant dot post, and I'll just post our endpoint URL, which would be this. But I would not recommend you to paste directly your endpoint URL in this. I would actually recommend you to retrieve it from your Firestore server, because anyone could have access to it. It could be a loss to you. So I'll just use this, and I'll just add a parameter which could be amount is equal to, I'll just add our amount string, which I declared above, and our arguments would be null for the parameters, and it would be our response string new handler string. Just press enter, and now we have two methods here. On success, if we have successfully retrieved response from our functions URL, and one failure if there is an error getting the response. So on success, we'll use try catch method first. Try would be a JSON object, as we are getting as object in JSON format. JSON object, I'll add this result would be new JSON object, and string, which is a result retrieved from our endpoint URL. Okay, now I'll just add catch method. This is JSON exception, and if there is any error, I will just use those to post it. I'll just get message. Okay, now we have retrieved a JSON object. Now we'll check our docs, what we have to do next. Okay, so now they have retrieved customer string and ephemeral key into customer configuration. So, and they have also retrieved payment intent and secret key, and they have initiated payment configuration using public reachable key. Okay, so I'll copy all this code from here to here, and I'll paste this. Okay, so one thing that it's retrieving the string called payment intent client secret, but we have used payment intent. So I'll just copy this, and we'll just simply receive payment intent key. Okay, so the most of the part of it's done here, and I'll just do one thing, just create a method to be void show Stripe payment sheet. Okay, so after we have successfully retrieved all the details from our endpoint, we will just present our Stripe payment sheet, which is like this. As you can see, like this, we will present our payment sheet, which is included in a Stripe SDK. So first, what we're gonna do is put all this retrieving code in one method. I'll just copy here, and I'll just create a function called get details, and I'll just create a new function get details. Okay, so I'll paste it here, and if we are successful in getting this string or our JSON object, we will just use our show payment Stripe sheet method. Okay, so I'll just simply use show payment Stripe sheet after reading all the details, but it won't run as it is running in our background thread. So what I'll do is run on UI thread new runnable, and just paste it here. Now after getting all these details, this will easily run our this show Stripe payment sheet method. Okay, so we need to add a code to show payment sheet. Okay, so this is our method, and I'll just copy this code and paste it here. Okay, let's move this comment to semicolon. Okay, payment and client secret, this would be our key. I'll just add semicolon here. Okay, and we would just customize our name, like you can customize it according to your company name. I'll just use my YouTube channel name, coder, .inc, like that, anything. Okay, so this would build our payment sheet. Okay, now one thing we need to do is retrieve the payment sheet result when the sheet is closed. Okay, so I'll just copy this code from here and paste it here. Just remove this bracket and I'll just use toast. See, if our payment is completed, I'll just use payment successful, and but if there is an error, which could be any kind of specific error, the toast and is the method retrieving the error, and just add a bracket here. Showing an error. I'll just do string. Okay, and if it is cancelled, just show payment cancelled. Okay, so we are done implementing result, and now we have to handle on clicks. So button, and I'll just use Stripe button dot set on click listener view values lambda expression, and if text utils is empty, and what was the text field amount edit text. So our toast amount cannot be empty. Okay, I'll just use get text dot to string, and if it's not empty, we'll just use else get details, and I'll just remove get details from here. Okay, and one more thing which I need to do is our amount string would be amount edit text dot get text to string. I'll just set its input type to number. Okay, we are done here. I hope it will work. Now let's try running it in our device. I'm not using emulator, I'm just using my external device. So I'll just show my screen. I'll just need to do one thing. is add two more zeros, because Stripe recognize last two digits as decimals. So we would be relaunching our app. Okay, so our app is successfully relaunched. Now I'll send an amount like 5,000, and I'll just go with pay with Stripe, and it would take like 5 seconds to be triggered, and here it is, our payment sheet. And there are some test details provided by Stripe, and I will use 4242424242 and random smiley, random CVV, and I'll just pay 5,000. Just redirect me to Stripe page, where it would gather all the device information like IP address, location, and device information, so that our payment is secure, and it's shown that payment successful. Okay, now I'll just use one more card, which would be it should require like two-factor authentication, like OTP from your banking service, like etc. And I will just use that random random CVC, and I'll just pay 5,000 again. And it will take me to the web page. Here I'll get the OTP and enter it, but since this is the testing and to just show me the option to complete or fail, I'll just simply like try to fail it and see what we have in response. Okay, so here is the response of the payment. Now if you go back and to show payment was cancelled. Okay, so this was it for today's video, and I'll provide the full source code for this in the description for both Firebase code and for your Android app. And make sure to subscribe and hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.